All Parts AITA for not splitting my mom's inheritance with my siblings. I, 28F, have 6 siblings. Our mom recently passed in November from stage 4 cancer. I had a really great relationship with my mom. We would spend time together and my 4 children all loved her. I am the youngest of all my siblings. My older siblings didn't prioritize much time with my mom. I currently live with my boyfriend, 38M, and our 4 children in a 3-bedroom apartment. It's nice but of course is not ideal for our large family. Over the summer while my mom was still coherent she signed a transfer on death of her house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, to me for myself, my boyfriend, and our children to move into. She did the transfer so I wouldn't have to buy the house as we would not be able to afford a loan for her house. And her house only had less than a year left until it was completely paid off so we would be able to afford her payments that way. All of my other siblings own their own homes and have plenty of room in their homes for their individual families. I didn't ask my other siblings if they were okay with this but I didn't see it as their decision or whether they had a say considering it's our mom's house and she had final say anyway. And like I said, all of my siblings own their own homes anyway. Once my mom passed, she had some medical bills that needed taking care of so it seemed as though we would need to sell the house to take care of them. After looking into it more, my boyfriend said he would buy the house at just enough to cover the medical bills rather than what it's worth considering we cannot afford what it's worth plus my mom had planned on us just moving in and not doing any sort of loan anyway. She had a cash inheritance which she left my oldest sister, Melanie 43F to split equally among all of my siblings. Since my mom has passed, we have asked Melanie how much is left in the inheritance as it would be split 7 ways and she would always kind of dodge the question. She would say she hasn't counted it yet or she's unsure. My mom also had some coins that were worth some money. She had 4 coins worth about $3,200 and a 5th coin worth about $1,200. I only found out about these coins from my other sister, Rochelle 35F because she told me Melanie thought about giving a coin worth $3,200 to herself, Rochelle, my brother Nick 37M, and myself. The coin worth less to another hand-picked sibling. And then just never telling the last 2 siblings about the coins at all. That really upset me. I understand that coins gain value over time and that's why they didn't want to pawn them for cash to split equally but that is really unfair and considering there are not 7 coins, I believe that it would be fairest pawn them for cash so everyone could be involved. I suggested that and then never heard anything back. Last week when I had Rochelle over dinner she dropped gold coin from purse and quickly put it back. I never said anything but I couldn't believe they decided to kick me out of that inheritance because I stuck up for the 3 siblings that were going to be slighted. Well, flash to a couple days ago my boyfriend got approved for the loan. I told Melanie about this to keep her in the loop and her response shocked me. She told me she did not feel comfortable selling the house to my boyfriend. I didn't understand because selling the house to my boyfriend was just a way for us to keep the house so that my mom's medical bills would get paid. And my mom's wishes were for my family to move into the house. After I got off the phone with Melanie, I called Rochelle to see how she felt but she couldn't talk right away. Once I was able to talk to Rochelle, it was very clear Melanie had gotten to her first and manipulated the situation. So I texted the group chat with my siblings. Essentially, they all want to sell the house at full value to a stranger so they can receive an inheritance of cash from the house selling. Melanie had very obviously made them believe that my mom only transferred the house into my name so I could take care of selling it and splitting the money with all of my siblings. That wasn't the truth and I tried telling them that our mom did not do that but Melanie had manipulated the situation. For context, Melanie is the oldest and all of our siblings can be pretty easily manipulated in a situation when it comes to Melanie. It sounds terrible but it's true. I can see right through it and try to say my side but they are all on Melanie's side. They all want cash from the house but I want to live in it like my mom had intended. Like I said, my mom transferred the house into my name. So I am going through with selling the house to my boyfriend to pay my mom's medical bills and so us and our 4 children can live there. My siblings feel like I have scammed them out of an inheritance. But I feel like I found a way to get the medical bills paid so that my family can live there which is what my mom intended when she was here. So am I the asshole? My oldest sister, Melanie, had made me believe that the debt needed to be paid from the house not the cash estate. She would never disclose to us that there was enough to pay off my mom's medical bills. I contacted an estate attorney and ended up speaking with the attorney who was directly handling my mom's medical debts. He told me that there was no need to sell the house right now. That my family could move into it with no worry of paying the medical debt until the future if I ever decided to sell it. So that's what we are going to do. If we ever decide to sell it, which I don't see right now why we would, as finding a 5-bedroom house is really hard to come by, we will split the sale of the house after her medical debts are paid and of course subtract any money we put into it going forward from their portion. I do agree that keeping the deed of the house in my name is the wise decision so that I will always have that security with my children if something were to ever happen between myself and my partner. I really appreciate all of the comments making that aware to me and all of the comments wanting to make sure I seeked out a lawyer. As far as the coins go, I didn't mention them because I was upset I wasn't getting a portion. I understand getting the house is a big deal. I mentioned what was happening with the coins to give an example as to why I don't feel I can trust Melanie. And why I feel like she is not being honest about the money in the estate. Which she wasn't. There is more money than just the coins that she is not being honest about. The deceptiveness is what hurts me. I feel like I am very open and honest with my family and would never try to deceive them. I would rather all conversations, especially with my family, hold integrity. Once I had felt settled and secure with talking to the lawyer, I texted my sibling group chat to let them know what was going on. That the house will stay in my name. Melanie has been manipulating the situation, and once she thought I was selling it to my boyfriend, I knew she would tell all my other siblings that the problem is not that I was keeping the house but that it would no longer be in my name. I can tell she is very angry that she can longer spin the story for her narrative. But this is what my mom had intended in the first place. For myself and my children to have somewhere to live, and she always knew my boyfriend was in our package deal. Melanie still seems mad, but I don't see the problem anymore. I'll keep this post updated if anything else happens to come up. Again, thank you to everyone for the advice. It really helped me out so much and put me in a much more secure position. Since I have told Melanie that we plan on keeping the house, she has made it her mission to do everything in her power to bury me. Melanie is my big sister by 15 years, so I've always trusted what she's said and done. Melanie was my mom's power of attorney. She made sure my mom's bills got paid toward the end, as that was her responsibility. Once I told Melanie we would be keeping the house, she would tell me she didn't have mom's account information and withheld all the information I needed to pay her bills. I made all the phone calls and all utilities were easily transferred into my name. However, going to the bank of course was a little more difficult. I can't even make a payment without knowing her account number. Melanie has kept all of mom's paperwork and refuses to give me that information. I'm currently in the process of waiting for the bank to email me a form to fill out to become a person on her account that can make payments. Then once that hopefully gets accepted, I can apply for assumption of her account. I'm hoping all of this goes over well with no bumps. Melanie is very angry when I told her I didn't feel like she was being fair in the way she was dividing the estate, and that she continues to change the story to fit her narrative for that day or who she is talking to. I told all of my siblings they could go through mom's house still if they wanted anything of hers before we donate. Everybody has had a key to mom's house because we would all go over and help her with anything she needed. Melanie then went through the house to take all of the valuables, collectibles, anything that could be sold for decent money so she could sell it herself and pocket it all. Mind you, I'm not talking about a couple of small trinkets. She took 4 large glass/real wood curio cabinets, 20 collectible cookie jars, at least 100 collectible angels. And she did all of this in one day as soon as she found out I would be keeping the house. So I asked my boyfriend to change the locks. And he did. I'm so glad he did, because I found out that they had been talking about taking the fridge and the stove. Since then, my boyfriend believes that they have been coming over daily to check the trash. They are crazy. Once she found out the locks had been changed, she truly tried to isolate me from my siblings and my dad. They are really the only family I have left. Unfortunately, they are all very easily manipulated. Truthfully, I don't really want to try to reconcile my relationship with them if they are so easily manipulated into cutting me out of their lives. And yes, she manipulated my dad as well. I lost my mom only a month and a half ago, and now in the snap of a finger I've lost everyone else. It's been very hard to deal with, but I truly don't feel as though I'm in the wrong here. I also contacted the lawyer who drew up the transfer on death so that I could make an appointment with her to finalize it. I also asked her if we could discuss my mom's estate. She then told me that no estate had been filed. I also contacted the probate court in our county to get a hold of my mom's will. And they also told me no will had been documented with them. All of that was Melanie's responsibility.